Good morning, good afternoon, geeks and gamers of all kinds. Welcome to Geek Tavern Radio, the show by geeks for geeks, and we are going to talk about some amazing geek news that we have heard over the week. But first, I want to introduce myself. My name is Shill, and I am joined with
Mike Bundy
and Dax.
Let's just dive right in. Halo TV has been given the green light by Showtime.
Yeah, I don't have a Showtime membership, so that'll be interesting, but hopefully it's good. I don't know. I don't know what they would focus on, you know?
Right.
Like, is it going to be Master Chief, or is it just going to be some... I don't know.
My guess is that they're not going to build a story around Master Chief, right? They're going to do a lore-based world that they're gonna build up to probably some, like, the first interactions with the Covenant, how the war got started.
Yeah.
That's my speculation. There's a lot of lore there from books that they can dive into. We get a little bit of pre-Halo game story that is told through, like, Halo Wars. But, like, we don't know what the first interactions with the Covenant were like.
Yeah.
So maybe that's where they're going to go with this Showtime story. Dax, what do you think about this Halo TV series?
I think this is interesting, of course. I always enjoy seeing a video game adaptation, into a movie. Into a show, this is going to be a little different. It's actually kind of crazy, and I guess now it's just even more possible, of course, with, CGI just being so advanced in movies anymore. Look at the Transformer movies. I mean, look at any movie anymore with the quality of CGI that it has these days. I think maybe that was Halo's biggest holdback, probably,
Right.
onto why it hadn't, necessarily sprung up.
Honestly, I think it had more to do with Bungie. Mm-hmm. Like, I think Bungie didn't want to do a Halo TV series because Bungie is not interested in creating this massive universe outside of the game itself. Look at Destiny, right? There's so much potential for lore-based books for Destiny, but Bungie has done nothing with books or comic books, any other storytelling mediums.
That's true.
Right? And I think the only reason Halo had the books that had come out was because of Microsoft. So, I now that Microsoft owns 343 Studios in the Halo franchise, this is just one of those things that was bound to happen.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. I mean...
Yeah. Thankfully is happening, and I couldn't agree with you more. Bungie is one where they are very protective of their product, which is all good. But again, I think Halo now has kind of... Halo, don't get me wrong, Halo is still popular to this day. It's huge. It's the game that at one point redefined first-person shooters.
Yeah.
But I think it's actually, with games like PUBG, Overwatch, all these other first-person shooters that are attractive in their own way, Halo's kind of, been stored up on a shelf collecting dust, more so.
I gotta say, Halo 5's multiplayer was probably the best in the franchise's history.
Yeah.
Yeah, multiplayer-wise, yeah.
Yeah, multiplayer-wise, it was the best in the franchise's history. Story-wise, it was probably the worst. So, if they'll have to get good writers for this TV show. But you mentioned other shooters that are immensely popular right now. So, like, why don't we move on and talk about Fortnite being immensely popular on the Switch? That's an incredible feat.
I basically, want to talk about this because, like, I've played it. It's okay. I don't mind turning it on and playing it. But people are, like, just freaking out over this game.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's so popular, and I don't understand why. So I guess wanted to hear you guys' thoughts on it. But
well, let's let's talk about how popular it is and how much of an actual impact Fortnite is happening.
Well, Fortnite for the Switch was downloaded 2 million times in the first 24 hours of its release.
That's crazy.
And people are still downloading and still playing this game.
I mean, let alone Fortnite is so huge in pop culture itself. I've never seen a video game be so big in pop culture. For instance, you have kids who are, on a soccer team or baseball team, and some of their group exercises are these ridiculous, infamous dances that was created in Fortnite, because you can have your character dance. So, there's these, everywhere, even in public, everywhere you go, you'll see these kids, even some, young adults doing these wacky, stupid dances, and they're straight from Fortnite. That's how big Fortnite is. I mean, you don't see people really going around and doing, Michael Jackson's Thriller dance or anything like that. This game is absolutely everywhere. Matter of fact, I can recall a couple months ago where there was a bunch of schools that had assembled together and discussed the future of their online services or their Wi-Fi services, because so many kids at school now you can play Fortnite on your phone.
Yeah.
Well, not Android.
But a lot.
Only iOS.
Yeah, only iOS. And a lot of kids, man, were just going to school and playing Fortnite. That's how insane it was. I remember Yahoo doing, and I don't want to get too far on this, but they even wrote articles about how Fortnite was dangerously addictive. But
video games in general are addictive.
They most certainly can be. But
they drive, so this is a meta conversation, but that dopamine is an addictive chemical in your brain, and the reward systems in video games release dopamine in your brain, and the more you'd get driven on that dopamine release, it's easier to become addicted. But that's a scientific conversation that is much more drawn out. It's all in moderation.
Chill.
It's all in moderation.
Yeah,
everything's in moderation.
Yeah. Have you played this?
Fortnite, I tried it. I don't understand how to play it. I started to destroy a house when I played it for the first time, and then I got killed by a shotgun, and I was done because I didn't know how to find a weapon.
They're literally just laying around.
Really? Okay, then I might have to pick it back up and try it again. But
try it again.
It takes a few rounds to really understand what you're doing.
Yeah. And the one cool thing too is even after you die, when you get up to the camera menu, you can hold and B and go back to the main menu to get into the next game. You don't have to wait around to watch the rest of that current game.
Right, right. I noticed
there's definitely a big learning curve to Fortnite. I'll say that much. I've played maybe 5 or 6 games now. And again, it's a lot. It has a lot to do. It's battle royale, and it has a lot to do with scavenging. Finding guns, finding chests, finding ammo, finding first aid kits and bandages in case of
right.
The only thing you gotta watch out for really is getting ganged on, because I tend to run in that a lot. A lot of these players are so smart where one of their players will be out 20 feet ahead of them, just running by themselves, and then 3 of their comrades will be following up, and just gang up on you. It absolutely sucks, but it's something that I'm slowly starting to get into.
The only other thing I wanted to mention with Fortnite was they did I don't know what you call it. They crunched the numbers basically, and the average Fortnite player spends $80-some on this game.
And it's a free-to-play game.
And it's a free game.
I mean, that's a better average than the 300 that people who play League of Legends play.
Yeah.
I sat down with a buddy of ours that said he spent $1,500 on League of Legends.
What?
Yeah. So, yeah, let's move on to a couple rapid fire things here. So, Overwatch, you're getting a new character, Wrecking Ball. Preview looks okay.
I'm excited to play this character.
Yeah.
It's literally a hamster in a ball,
Yeah.
and to move around, you roll in the ball, and then when you're ready to shoot, like, it turns into like this mech thing.
Okay.
Like, it just looks cool.
Yeah. That's
So
awesome.
I'm excited for this character.
Yeah, trailer looks really cool. Seems like a really awesome.
It might get me
thing
back
that's
into
going on.
Overwatch.
Yeah, Overwatch was a great.
And when
game.
are we
Love
getting
playing it.
Overwatch on Switch? Because
It's got to come, man.
That
It
needs to
fits.
happen.
It fits for the platform,
Yep.
and they could do crossplay and everything. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is now going to be compatible with Nintendo Labo. That's really unique. That's a really unique story.
and you don't even have to ride one of the motorcycles. You can ride, or you can drive a cart with it.
Yeah,
as
that's
well.
really cool. Like, a kid
Yeah.
can sit down and use the thing as like a steering wheel to ride a bike.
The bike has, a brake handle, just like an actual bike.
Man, that's so cool.
But the thing, I mean, it sounds cool, but I heard it's not like as responsive as you want it.
It probably
But-
needs fine-tuned.
But I mean, it sounds cool. I don't know if I could do it, but
When are we getting a Nintendo Labo NZAP for Splatoon 2?
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that's get the NZAP gun out and
Apparently,
play Splatoon 2.
apparently with the bike as well, if you lean back, like, you can pop a wheelie in the game.
Really? That's
which
awesome.
I was like, I
Yeah,
want
because
to do
you
that.
can't do that in the game without that compatibility.
Right. So
So that's really neat. WWE 2K19 has been announced. They have said that you can pre-order it and you get Rey Mysterio. You get AJ Styles $1 million challenge. I don't know what that is, Mike Monday.
that's not even something you get. Like, they're AJ Styles, basically, as they announced him as the cover star. Like, there's this thing. I don't know how you enter. You got to look up the info for that. But basically, one person will be selected to go against AJ Styles because he's a big gamer.
Oh, okay.
He's a
So he's
big
gonna play
game
the
collector,
game.
and if you beat him, you get $1 million.
That's pretty neat.
I want to beat him.
Yeah, and the speculation is that they'll have one of the female stars on the cover.
No. It's that was a conversation piece. A lot of people are saying, should this, since the women's revolution is so hot right now, should it have been finally a female superstar on the cover?
Oh, okay. So it's
Especially with Ronda
it's-
Rousey being there now.
Well, I mean, I don't think she should have gotten it, but like,
Oh, no.
it should have been like, I think it should have been maybe Charlotte Flair or Alexa Bliss, one of the two. Like, Alexa Bliss is doing crazy stuff, so
Well, it's like this. Like right now, the women's revolution is so hot in WWE right now, and it absolutely is. And of course, WWE failed this opportunity. And don't let anybody think that these video game developers, those who are, what is it, 2K?
Yeah.
2K, that make this game, that they have a choice on who they present, who they want to be on the front cover.
I mean, it could even be part of the collector's edition. Like, they haven't really announced what that is this year. Like, it could be
Well,
focused on the women's revolution. Even
I'm sure if enough people talk about this and tweet directly at WWE, I'm sure they can actually, let their voices be heard, and actually, this will give WWE that time to say, all you spoke up and your voices were heard and they all count, so this is what we did. Because they've done that. It seems like they're notorious for doing that this year. Everything from taking this person out of the WWE Hall of Fame, or there's just been so many incidents this year where a lot of fans have cried out, and then they just go, oh, your voices were heard. So I don't know.
So yeah, they missed the opportunity to do something great with putting a female star on the cover of 2K this year, but they might not miss that opportunity next year. And speaking of opportunities that you don't want to miss out on, Google is rumored to be working on a streaming device that can play video games. I mean, that's an incredible thing, because there are so many games on the Android App Store that people can jump in and play, right? And if you had a controller, it would probably make some of those games even better games to play.
Yeah, I don't think there's too much information with this. I took it as they were like making a service where you play like console games.
Oh, well, that would be neat.
But I don't know. We're not sure on that. But
Right. If they
either way,
they got third-party developer support,
yeah.
right? Like, and I'm sure that they would.
Either way, it looks like the gaming world is going into a streaming only future,
It is.
and it's I don't know how I feel, but
Well, I don't
see.
know. We said that was a rumor 10 years ago too, though, right? Like,
I just don't think
everybody.
the technology has advanced enough to do it. Like, that's why it's always something in the future. Well, eventually we're going to get to that point,
Right.
and we're going to
As
get it.
long
I don't think
as
download
long
speeds.
as
Go ahead.
as long as the United States as a whole has crappy bandwidth when you compare
Right.
to all other countries, this isn't going to sell well to consumers. Because
Right.
again, streaming itself is going to come solely down to the fact on whether or not the consumer can actually stream that game
Right.
due to on to whether or not they have really good internet access. And in all honesty, I mean, a lot of people think that, oh, I have good internet. You don't.
Nah.
On a majority of us do not have good, fast-paced internet.
Right.
It doesn't matter. You can go out and you can get your FiOS and everything, but until you see or actually, experience what internet connection, Wi-Fi connection is like in every other,
Right, but you
country, whether-
also gotta take into consideration though that those countries are literally a tenth the size of the United States when it comes to like house to house, right? Population size is much smaller. Rural areas, the stretches of miles and miles that have to go into wiring people up, hooking them up to the better infrastructure. That's all very expensive in the United States because we have a large chunk of land, whereas some of these other countries, especially like Europe, I mean, the entire continent of Europe is probably the size of northeast the United States, right?
Yeah.
From like Ohio
True.
up to Maine.
Yeah.
Like the entire continent of Europe.
It has a lot to do, too, with just the fact of competition between Verizon, Comcast, whoever else.
Well, yeah.
Too.
Yeah, and it doesn't
on
help.
whether
It
or
doesn't
not
help
they want
that
to put it.
they all want to
but-
buy each other all the time either.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So anyway,
But, I mean, right now, I mean, there's so many pros to doing streaming. I had heard that they are looking to making their own console as well for this.
well,
correct.
they'll probably do. Realistically, what will happen is that they will make some kind of box that runs Chrome OS and hooks up to your TV, just like the Apple TV does, because they have their TV OS
Yeah.
that they run on their Apple TVs.
Yeah.
And then they just have the access to the App Store through tvOS. What will likely happen is Google will make a Google TV or some kind of box that hooks up to your TV that does the same thing through the Google Play Store, and then you would be able to get a controller for it and play video games that way.
Yeah.
So,
sounds
hey,
like a cool idea, I guess.
It's a revolutionary thing, and it is what it is. It'll be
Yeah.
really cool, I think, if Google does that with the Google Play Store, because there's tons of cool stuff on there.
If that happens, I just hope games are cheaper.
I think so. I think
Because not that the price of making a disc is not, it's minuscule.
right, and I think that what
But-
will happen is that as there's a flood and influx of more and more developers being able to make more and more games, I think that the prices will have to be lowered, right? Because we have folks that are coming and making indie games like Shovel Knight or Hollow Knight or Ukulele or any, Inside and
Yeah.
Inside and Limbo, these rave review games are all available for like $10 or $20. And honestly, I think when you're creating a product like that and introducing it into a market where stuff is $40, $50, $60, people are going to go for the cheaper stuff. So I think that as time progresses, these bigger studios will automatically start to break apart a little bit more.
I like to see a
make
$40 price point.
Yeah. Right,
For a brand new game.
Especially in the way of digital.
And
They don't have all the
that's
costs.
why I like... It's going to be interesting going forward. Little side tangent here. It's going to be interesting going forward buying Pokemon games on the Switch. Because I really liked paying $40 for my Pokemon games.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So,
Well, they'll be much bigger on the Switch.
oh yeah.
So yeah, it's an exciting time. More and more stuff is getting pushed out by all these independent developers. And I have to say that it's been fun pushing out more content frequently on the Geek Tavern channel as well.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's been great to do little shorter episodes and pump more out and record more frequently so we can just talk to our audience a little bit more. I thoroughly enjoy it. I thank you guys so much for the downloads. If you want to stay in touch with us, you can follow us at Geek Tavern. On Twitter, you can join our Discord, have a conversation with us there. Mike Bundy, where can they find you?
Well, they can find me on Twitter at MikeBundy316, on Instagram at MikeBundy316, and you can find this show as well on my YouTube, Mike Space Bundy.
Dax, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Daximunder, DAXIMUNDR.
And you can follow me at shill_DS on Twitter, and that's also my handle on Instagram and YouTube. So I post tons of stuff on there, and you guys can interact with me all the time. Well, thank you so much for joining us again. It means the world to us that you clicked the download button and stuck with us. It's been a fun episode, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's been a good time. So make sure you guys head on out there and you press start and keep on gaming.